Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Good Mood Magic. I'm so excited to have you here. And before we get started, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell so that you can get notified whenever I release new videos. I would love to keep you around and keep supporting you because my number one goal is to help as many people improve their mood and find good mood magic as possible, because I really believe that everything in life is easier with a good mood. As a matter of fact, almost nothing else matters in life when you really do have that good mood magic. So that's what I'm here for. Now, what are we talking about today? This topic is near and dear to my heart because it is something that I struggled so much with when I was in the pits of anxiety, as I call it, or when I had the bad mood blues. It is tapping into my intuition. Now, we all know an anxious mind is a busy mind, and at times it can be really difficult to decipher what you actually want to do with your day, with a week, with a moment, what you want to eat off of a menu when you're anxious. You honestly can't decide, hey, am I making this decision because so-and-so told me to do it? Or am I actually deciding this because it's something that I really want? Or am I making this decision out of fear? Am I making this decision out of love? Gosh, there's so many voices in your mind when you're anxious. So I want you to know that I feel you on that. I feel you on the busy, crowded room that can be an anxious mind. And that's what I want to help you guys with today, with 5 tips to tap into your intuition. This is something that I deciphered and came up with over the course of my anxiety. And I really, really hope that it helps you too. All right, let's get into it. In step 1, we're gonna come up with a small choice or a question or something that's really simple that we can answer easily. What do I wanna do with the rest of my day? And we wanna answer that with a yes, with what you think you would wanna do. Let's just say I wanna stay in, get on the couch and watch Netflix. So that's the first part of step 1, is figuring out something simple that we can answer, that we're gonna know, yeah, we actually want to do that. Step number 2 is to come up with an alternative or a response to that question that you are certain that you wouldn't want to do. In my opinion, the more extreme, the better, because we're just using this as an experiment with which our goal is to help you get more in tune with your body's intuitive signals to be able to tell if something's aligned or if something is not aligned. So in step number 2, we are going to come up with something extreme. For this case, if we know the question is, what do I want to do with the rest of my day? We know the answer is, I want to get on the couch and watch Netflix. Sounds pretty great to me. Then number 2, we're going to come up with something like, I want to cut off all my hair, or I want to run down the street naked, or I want to shave my head. Something extreme. You can come up with whatever you want for this answer. Have some fun with it. It should be like you obviously, absolutely not, I don't want to run down the street naked. Absolutely not, I don't want to shave my head. You get the point. So we've got these 2 questions. We're going to keep those firm in our mind. They should be pretty easy to remember. And we're going to move on to step 3. Step 3 is to get still and quiet and centered for as long as you can. Now, I know if you're anxious, this probably isn't going to be your strong suit. It's still something I need you to learn how to do. So if it's 5 minutes, I just want you to play some calming music, get calm, walk outside, whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be that extensive, but something to just get yourself a little bit quiet to where you feel like you can turn inwards. Because I know if we're in the heat of anxiety or a really stressful state, it can be really difficult to get centered. So you're going to want to do this exercise when you're feeling like you can somewhat get to that centered place. So that's step number 3, music, candles, walk outside at least, a few minutes, 5-10 minutes, longer if you can. If you spend an hour outside, that would be a great time to play this little game. So that's step number 3. Step number 4 is to get into this centered, quiet space and to pose this question to yourself. So you can either ask it to yourself as a yes or no, and you can say fully each thing that you would theoretically do for the rest of your day and listen to your body's responses. So you're going to get quiet, you're going to get centered, and you're going to say, what do I want to do with the rest of my day? Do I want to sit on the couch and watch Netflix? Or do I want to shave my head? And you can ask yourself both questions, and then you can kind of play around with each of those questions and start to pay attention to your body's signals. Another way to do this would be like if something that you wanted to eat. Do I want to eat ice cream or do I want to eat celery juice? However you want to play this game is fine. We just want a clear distinction and an easy yes or a no for you so that you can focus primarily on your body's responses. So step 4 is to pose your question to yourself. And then step 5 is where we want to get into reading the sensations of these questions within your mind and your body. So that's where the meat of really tapping into your intuition comes into play. And I want to talk to you about what that experience might feel like so you can know what to look out for. So number 1, we've got, do I want to sit on the couch tonight and relax and watch my favorite TV show, or do I want to shave my head? Like, okay. I laugh at myself every time I say this example because I think it's like so silly, but you can come up with whatever example you want. Just make sure it's something that you already kind of very clearly know the answer to, because we just want you to be paying attention to your body's signals. So when you pose the first part of that question to yourself, do I want to stay in tonight and watch my favorite show on Netflix and relax? You might feel any of the following. You might feel kind of a freedom, a lightness, an expansiveness in your neck, in your chest, in your shoulders. And you might feel a sense of relief, which is an important marker for when a decision is the right one. I want you to write that down. Your mind's probably going to be pretty quiet because it doesn't have anything to argue with or to worry about. It's just right. So your mind's on board with it, your heart's on board with it, and not only is your mind quiet because we want to make decisions from our heart, we also feel just a general calmness, a centeredness, a sureness about making this decision. Now, even though it's a small decision, this is a great muscle to flex when you're anxious, because it can be so difficult to even decide what you want to eat off of a menu when you're anxious because you're just not sure why you're making certain decisions. So this little game, this little exercise will help you do that, even in the midst of anxiety. So we know we definitely want to sit on that couch tonight. I'm just imagining sitting on the couch in my biggest, comfiest sweatpants. No one's going to bother me. I really want to catch up on the show. God, that feels so good. I can't wait. You're already in that experience of what that is, and it feels good. Your body knows it, your heart knows it, and so does your mind even. So those are some of the signals that you're going to look out for. You might even feel like a bit of a coolness in your body. It should feel slightly more relaxed. Look out for those, and you'll know that you're making the right decision. Now, on the flip side, if it's the wrong decision, now if you're going to sit there in quiet in that stillness and you're going to pose to yourself, do I want to shave my head tonight? And immediately when I hear that, I'm like, oh, like imagining shaving my head, and it's just like a hell no in every fiber of my being. I feel tension in my neck and chest and shoulders. I feel a bit of heat. I feel my mind starts going off and chattering, and it might sound something like just running thoughts like, oh my God, why would I shave my head? That would be so horrible. Can you imagine? I've seen all these YouTube videos of women online cutting their hair impromptu, and it never turns out well. Hello, let's think of Britney Spears. Free Britney, by the way. So you're gonna have this really loud mind that's gonna be like, oh my God, having thoughts, and it's gonna be chattery, and it's gonna be loud and tense and hot, and you're gonna just be like, oh no, like that doesn't feel right. So pay attention to those signals. It will feel cramped and tense, and you just won't like the feeling. Now, this is an extreme situation. Obviously, when things they don't have as much impact in your life, it can be harder to read these signals also when you're stressed and running around. The truth is, you're not always gonna make the right decision, but when it comes to, you're not gonna make the right decision about maybe what to order off of a menu, but when it comes to really big life decisions, or just things that you're not sure you even really want to do, but you can't quite figure out yes or no, you're feeling indecisive, this is going to be a really great practice for you to implement and a muscle for you to strengthen, because I know how loud that mind can be when we're anxious. And so, yeah, if you can learn how to get settled and learn how to pay attention to your body's intuitive signals, both mentally, physically, emotionally, you're going to know with every fiber of your being that you're making the right decision. And I know that will help you enormously when it comes to coping with and supporting yourself through anxiety, all right? And knowing that you're making the right decision, because the second guessing, the self-doubting is such a big part of anxiety. And hopefully this is one little way that you can support yourself through it and trust yourself more, trust that you made the right decision. So I hope those 5 steps for tapping into your intuition were super helpful. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, girl, hit that like button. And if you liked it, share it with someone that needs it. I would love that. I would love that. I want to reach as many people as I can, and I would love your help in doing so. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Good Mood Magic, and I'll see you next time.